Do you want to know how to open up your heart to love? Hey, I'm Antia Boyd, creator of the Magnetize Your Man Method, and I am really excited to talk about this because oftentimes we can get so hurt, and it can get hard to actually open up our heart or open up our heart again, right? Maintaining to keep our heart open with the right man without sabotaging it and getting into your own way. So tip number one to accomplish that is actually connecting to your authentic emotion. Now, what does that mean? Now, oftentimes we have this feeling we need to put on a face, a mask, a persona. We need to be a certain way. We need to smile all the time. We need to be like all put together and say the right thing, right? But yet, that's actually the least turn on factor for available men, like an emotionally available man who's congruent and aligned and embodied inside of himself. He's looking for that same level of embodiment within you. Plus, when you are connected to your authentic emotion, so if you feel pissed, then be angry, right? Like when you feel sad, be sad, because that also increases your own trust within yourself, which is the most important thing, because oftentimes the reason why it's so hard to open up your heart is because you don't trust. You don't trust yourself, you don't trust men, and you certainly don't trust the world. So that's tip number one. Tip number two is be your own best friend. Okay, no, look, I hear this all the time. Women telling me stories and saying, well, should I give this man the benefit of the doubt? I don't know if I should keep my heart open here or not, and so on and so forth. And yet, I always say, well, treat yourself like you would treat your best friend. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, imagine your own best friend comes to you, right? And that tells you the story and has the same circumstance that you're going through right now, right? I just went on this amazing date, but the guy looked at his phone the entire time, right? Or it took him a week to get back to me, right? Should I give him the benefit of the doubt? Should I give him another chance? And then see, what would you tell your best friend, right? That you, of course, love and respect, and you are, of course, also protective over. Hello? So that is, of course, super, super important, as well as being your own best friend. Now, another important piece, tip number three, dress. A different language, right? So tip number three is really about embracing all of who you are. This goes a little bit back to tip number one. So if you're always thinking, no, unless I'm nice and I'm polite and I'm understanding and I'm compassionate, then I'm lovable, right? But when I'm nasty, or when I'm selfish, or when I'm arrogant, or when I'm entitled, or whatever the case may be, then I'm not lovable. And I tell you, I have actually a funny story, because my husband, he proposed to me the night after I was the biggest biatch to him. Yes, that's right. I threw like a massive fit. I certainly expressed my anger, my rage the night before, and then the day after, he ended up proposing to me because he felt me, right? Like his authentic part inside of himself felt my authentic part as well. And it also taught me to embrace myself more. And it has nothing to do, the level of lovability has nothing to do with how well put together you are, or how well spoken you are, or how well educated you are, or how well connected you are. It has nothing, absolutely zero, nada to do with that. But it is really all about who are you in this moment, and do you respect yourself enough? Do you cherish yourself enough in that moment to show up exactly the way you are? Okay? And then tip number four that really helps you to open up your heart to love is ultimately to forgive yourself. Now, hold on one second, Antia. What are you talking about? And of course, you've heard this over and over again, right? To forgive yourself, to forgive other people. What the heck does that mean? Now, what I'm saying here is, oftentimes when we don't open up our heart, it's because, we are resenting that part that's softer. We're resenting that part inside of us that's more vulnerable, that's potentially more needy, that's potentially helpless, that's potentially powerless, right? And instead, you actually want to forgive yourself for judging yourself that you have those parts inside of yourself. I have a needy part inside of myself. I can sit here and say that. As a matter of fact, I have a very cool story where I was dating a guy. That was exactly 10 years ago. And funny enough, he told me, as we were on our, it was 5th or 6th date or whatever it was, that I am too affectionate, right? I'm basically too needy, physically and emotionally. And I said, well, this is who I am. I don't know what else to say. This is who I am. Those are my needs, and I make sure that I get my needs met. And sure enough, he actually turned around and he was super shocked and he was super apologetic and said, no, this is not what I meant. I'm so sorry. No, absolutely. You're totally, no, you're not too affectionate. Actually, I love it. I love when you kiss and hug me, right? And so right away, because he saw that I was advocating for my emotions, because I had already forgiven myself for judging myself, for being selfish, for being needy or helpless or powerless. And that same can happen to you as well, because there's something to be said when you are actually advocate for your own needs, for your own desires, and be unapologetic about it. Extremely attractive, very confident, highly trustworthy, and of course so magnetic overall. So those are my 4 tips today on how to open up your heart to love. So again, it's all about connecting with your authentic emotion in this particular moment. Be your own best friend. 3 is embracing all of your parts inside of yourself, the angry, the sad, the wild, the crazy, the uncontrollable, whichever part it is. And then of course 4 is all about be grateful and really forgive yourself for judging yourself. All right, so if you're like, wow, Antia, I'm really enamored with those tips, and yet I have a hard time to actually integrate and implement that into my life, then I invite you to come on a 15-minute heart-to-heart chat with me, where we get crystal clear on what are your particular vulnerability thresholds. What are those nuggets that are getting in the way of you actually integrating it? You may have all the information, right? But yet the transformation hasn't occurred because the integration piece is the missing link. So what's getting in the way? When are you leaving your body? When are you popping out? When are you disassociating? All of that and more we are going to uncover in the 15-minute heart-to-heart chat. All right, so for that, hop on over to magnetizeyourman.com, magnetizeyourman.com. And also, I have another surprise gift there for you, which is my 25 places to meet quality man, so you can implement the tips that I give you on that 15-minute heart-to-heart chat right away. All right, below this video is the link to sign up for that, and I am certainly so excited to get on the love journey, on the love train with you, and help you to attract your happily ever after. All right, much love to you. I'll talk to you soon. Mwah!